G'day Carbonites, Timmy Carbine back with some more Ark Survival Evolved. This is going to be a building tips video. Recently I got a comment on Architect number 2, which was the Roman styled villa. And the person was asking about how to go about covering the entire lake. And I just did like a test run of this tutorial, and I had so much fucking difficulty with it. I think the devs might have done maybe a silent hotfix on something, because I swear to God, you were able to place pillars a lot further into the ground than what it's allowing me at the moment. But anyway, we're going to get into it. I'm certain we can do it again. So what we're going to do is aim towards the center, and the first placement is really important. So we don't want to be too high and we don't want to be too low. Okay, that doesn't look too bad, because we're going to actually take the next level up for the final run. So what I did in my tutorial is I actually made like a grid layout. So I placed these all the way along, and then every time I had a pillar I placed another section there. And honestly, there's probably a million ways you can do this without spending so many resources, but this is the way I did it, and I'm just going to recreate that. Okay, so yeah, every time I had a pillar, I just ran that all the way across. Now that was so I could get the two stages, because if you noticed in the video, I had the courtyard where the crop plots were, it was sunken down, and that's how I got that recessed floor. It was due to the two stages of the ceilings on the pillar. I'm just going to get rid of that for now. So I'll continue covering the entire thing with this grid layout, and then we'll come back and continue on from there. Okay, so we're just about done. I've basically gone as far as I can with pillars. So if you didn't care about the tops of the pillars poking through, you could just close all this off and then be done with it. But if you're like me and it bothers you, we're going to cover all those up with a second set of ceilings. So basically what I've been doing is, when I get to the edges, I'm just going around and just seeing if I can place a pillar. Because once you can place a pillar, then you can go out 2 more tiles. And it looks like that's as far as we can go. So I can cover these up, because we can go 2 out from those pillars. But then that's it. That's as far as I can go. Now this is the worst section here. It's just a little bit too shallow. And this is one of those points where if my ceilings were a little bit higher, there would be enough room for a pillar, and I'd be able to carry pillars like all the way out to probably about here. So that's just, I don't know, it's trial and error, I guess. But we should be able to get it once we start coming through with the second layer of ceilings. So I'm going to do that. I'll cover up the entire middle, and then I'll bring you back when we're getting up to the shoreline. So I'll see you guys soon. Okay, so we're back. Now, there's actually a couple of ways we can do this. The way I did it in the video is I free-handed a foundation. So I went around the edge here, and I looked for a spot where the ceiling, where the foundation and the ceiling lined up pretty good. So let's go K mode so we can get a better view of it. I'm gonna have to bring it in. Okay, so you can see that's way off. Okay, that looks pretty good. It probably needs to be rotated a little bit more. God damn it. Just there. Yeah, I think it just needs, yeah, touch to the right there like that. Yeah, this is how I did it in the video. So I freehanded a foundation, and then I went around and placed ceilings on top. So it's important to note that that ceiling there actually snapped to the other ceilings. And what we did is we tricked the game into thinking it had foundation support by putting that foundation there. So I could extend this out 2 tiles from that foundation. And then, yeah, I could keep, I did that all the way with foundations, so I didn't do the ceilings straight away. I kept going out with foundations as far as I could go. That's about it. And then I covered it up with ceilings just so they're the same height. And yeah, that's how I did it in the video. But let me get rid of this, and then I'll show you another way. Okay, so if we let's try it here. If we get a pillar, place it halfway through, a foundation will actually snap based on that pillar. Now, just like the ceiling thing, it's going to be like it's going to have 2 snap points basically, because the foundation won't be perfectly aligned. It's snapping to the pillar, and the pillar's always a little bit off. But this looks like a pretty good strategy as well. It's definitely a lot easier than manually trying to line up foundations, because it actually snapped directly to the pillar. So I'm going to continue on with this, and I'll see how it goes. Hopefully it works out the same, if not even better. So I'll see you guys soon. Okay, so I found a slightly cheaper way to do it. After we snap that foundation, you can get another pillar to snap as well, and I checked its height, and it looks like it's the same height. So basically you could make half as many foundations, because you would make in the pillars take the place of half of them, and they're a lot cheaper. Yeah, and the foundations snap directly to those pillars. Looks like that'd be, yeah, a really cheap way of doing it, if you weren't spawning things in. Like if you're actually, yeah, like grinding out all the materials required to do this. I hope you're not, because that's, I've gone through like at least 400 ceilings doing this. Okay, so I thought I better show this. What I'm doing is just going as far as I can with foundations, because I know that I want foundations around the edge, so we're guaranteed to get that wall. Otherwise, if we just have a ceiling there, we're going to get a gap like we have over here, and that's going to look dodgy. So I know I want foundations as the last. So yeah, that's what I've done there, and then what I'll do is use pillars to block out some of the foundations required. But obviously you don't need to do that if you're just spawning in stuff. I mean, it's a lot easier just placing foundations. So yeah, I'll see you guys when I finish this. Okay, so I'm just going to do this end for the tutorial. Now I've gone around the outside of it with the foundations. What I'm going to do now is just go through and destroy all the pillars, because I don't want them to manipulate the ceilings with their snap point. So I'm going to get rid of them, so that way we've only got really 2 snap points. We'll have one from the foundations and then one from our ceilings that we want. Now technically these should line up, but I don't know, this is Ark, man. You never know, there could be a variation in it. So just to be safe, I'm going to go strictly off those snap points from the ceilings that we've already placed. So I'll finish destroying these pillars and then I'll be back with you. Okay, so I'm going through and placing the ceilings. And I'm noticing that some of them aren't allowing me to place the ceiling, which is weird. Almost like it doesn't like the foundations. Now I've placed it over some foundations. See, it's let me do it there. And it wouldn't let me place that one until I place this one first, which is weird. Okay, I seriously can't place one here, so let's do this. Okay, and it's fine. We're going to have to be careful with that though, because if we delete too many of them, we'll lose foundation support. I honestly have no idea why it's doing that. See, it wouldn't let me place it there until I place these other ones. But anyway, we'll get it done. Okay, so it won't let me place any in these sections here. I'm assuming it's going to be the same for this, yeah. I want to see if this does anything. I don't think so. So there's nothing here, is that right? Yeah, okay. So if we put that there, and now it works, okay. Well, there you go. Don't do that. Don't try and cut corners, just place foundations everywhere. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We'll see if we have any issues then. Okay, so we're done. Now, we have a choice. We can, now that we have foundation support there, we can actually come out 2 tiles from a foundation. So, that's up to you if you want to do that. I think it looks good in certain places. Like, I would use it to clean this line up. Yeah, see, I wouldn't bother placing one there because I can't place one there, and that's going to look weird. I probably wouldn't place one there because we can't place one there. So I'd rather have that wall there. Alright, so that's going to be it for the video, guys. I hope it helped you out. If it did, smash the like button for me. Don't forget to lead your targets, and I'll see you next time.